Join Gator great Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It is a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center studios. Locations across the state of Florida, right there at Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Go check out the good people at International Diamond Center. Today's program will have JC, and then we'll have Kevin Brockway from the Gainesville Sun. We'll talk about Denzel Aberdeen is eligible to play. And if you go into the NBA, you can come back and now you can go into the transfer portal. We'll figure that all out. JC, do you know all about that?
Yeah. No, couldn't care less about the NBA.
Well, I know that,
and I really couldn't care less about the WNBA.
Not just the NBA, it's the class of 21, maybe. They all get another year. They passed it. I don't really I didn't read up on it enough. I'm sure our listeners did. I'll let Kevin Brockway do it, but it's not just basketball. It's any sport you can come back and play another year. I don't know, when is it going to end?
I don't know when it's going to end. I guess when Congress makes a decision to pay attention to it, and maybe they will, maybe they won't. I'm betting they don't before the end of the year. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm dead wrong, because these kinds of stories, when we can start focusing what goes on the field and on the court, I'm going to be very relieved, because all this other mumbo jumbo and this administrative BS is for the smart people that make the millions of dollars to figure out, and they're not doing a very good job of figuring it out right now. But QB, I'll tell you.
Yeah. So
ever since go ahead.
Well, remember your thought, but Andy says, and I'm sure Andy's read through this because that's what Andy does. He says all college football and basketball players are coming back. It's from a certain class year. So anyway,
okay,
we'll get into that later.
That's great. You can worry about that with good old buddy. But I'll tell you what, Shane, I'm the Big Ten wins 3 national championships. Okay, fine. All of their success and all of the rest of the country's success has come because we're able to now pay players. Of course, their reasoning for the SEC's success was, all we did was cheat down here, right? And they played by the rules, of course. Forget about the scandals at Penn State. But hey, listen, we cheated, so that's why we won down here. And now that everybody's on the same playing field and paying everybody, the Big Ten and the rest of the country is just going to bury us. So we get this jerk Signetti, who I used to like. Now I've kind of run out of time for him because, he wins it one time. He does bring the program literally from the depths of the bottom of the toilet up to the very top of the mountain in a very short period of time. And now he is God. Okay, so let's take a look at what he had to say at Big Ten Media Days, talking about how, we just beat up on a bunch of weak teams and the SEC is overrated. So the Big Ten's national championship team, Indiana, the first 6 weeks, North Texas, Hawaii, West Kentucky, Northwest, Rutgers, and Nebraska. And you're going to come over here and lecture about how difficult, your league has become when basically you have one rivalry and you're trying to get into a situation with another school to create a rivalry not named Notre Dame that you never played anyway. And when you did, you got buried. So, I love how the Indiana fans all of a sudden have just decided, well, we're just now the kings of college football because we did it 1 year. And in the Big Ten, they're the best program they've had in 25 years, won it 2 years out of those 25. So I've got a little bone to pick with the Big Ten and their fan base because they're really,
I think you should start some Twitter wars.
They're
Big Ten folks.
I said, well, I mean, it's kind of, I feel like I'd be wasting my time because they basically say the only reason we won down here is because we cheated. And the only reason they're winning now is because they're doing it legitimately. And they're able to do it legitimately. But the reason they couldn't do it before NIL is because nobody wanted to play in those lousy places. Minneapolis, state college, Ann Arbor. My God, Michigan sucked until they won it with Harbaugh after they cheated half the season with
They did a
Spygate.
lot of cheating.
Oh my God. So they want to talk about cheating. The pot is calling the kettle blacker than black right now. And I just think it's laughable, really. So hopefully we don't get a pseudo Big Ten team like Oregon or Southern Cal winning the national championship this year, or we'll never hear the end of it. But those are supposedly Big Ten teams. So we call it the Big 18 now. From henceforth, it shall be known as the Big 18. The Big 18 is what they are. So if it's the Big 10, tell me the 8 teams that don't matter, and we won't count those. So let's call it the Big 18. From now on, QB, you are mandated the Big 18. I'm going to start that. That's what I'm going to start doing because they want to brand themselves as the Big 10, but they've got twice as many teams, literally or figuratively, as that number. So screw them. How about that Indiana schedule? That's
a great schedule. I'm excited for them.
Okay.
I'm glad you got that off your chest.
Okay. I'm good now.
I feel like Dr. Phil.
The Yankees.
All right.
Indiana, I swear to God, they're the hottest thing. And they won it last year. Great.
This text here, I don't know who it's from, but they let us know that the players whose first year in college that was 2022 get another year. Doesn't matter what sport you play, JC, you get another year.
Yeah. All right.
How about that?
Well, some people then will have 8 years of college eligibility.
I don't know when they're going to stop giving more years.
No, I don't either. But
stop.
I tell you,
I got to pull
keep
this up
with it
here on Facebook Live.
Kimmy, did you hear the rain last night? I mean, I'm on a lake out here at Lake Hawkstone.
Brandon says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. 2 things.
Brandon?
Detroit County Club, I think the Detroit Country Club, I meant to say, knocked it out of the park with their redesign. I agree 1000%. Hopefully they get another sponsor because, that was the last Rocket Mortgage Classic. They're not going back to Detroit. They spent all that money on the redesign, which that had nothing to do with the PGA Tour, but I thought it was great. And he said that the article that Zach Albaverdi wrote about the weight room transformation was eye-opening. I did not read that or see that. So anyway, Dan says, if you signed a pro contract, you can't come back. Well, I would think if you played in the NBA Summer League, which Xavier Lee did, I guess you don't sign a contract to play in that. I guess they're doing that for free. I don't know, but he's going back into the portal. But there's other players doing it as well. So anyway, JC, did you watch any of the Detroit golf tournament?
Yeah, I did. I watched it.
It was great.
Now I know it was great, but
my man Thor won it.
Yeah, he did. And I think he hit 17 out of 18 greens in regulation. That's how you win these things. And you keep it out of the rough and you're able to do that. So he was killing it. And I'm happy for the kid from Stanford. They're an ACC school, by the way. And he did it, and he was close in many tournaments. He was due to win. Now he's got an invite to the PGA next year. He's got an invite to the Masters next year. He's got his car secured for 2 years, even though that was pretty much in the bank anyway with the way he's played this year with all his top 5 and top 10 finishes. So good for Michael Thorbjornsen, one of your favorite golfers, a guy that you always pick. Neither of us picked him, but you did have Xander Schauffele, who came at second. Basically, you had Cam Young, who bogeyed 18 to finish 8th out of the top 5, which hurt me a little bit. But Ricky Fowler also, of course, you had him, and he birdied the 18th.
What a week I had. And the Pete Sandell golf pick.
Yes. I listen. I'm running a little cold on some of these, but he was plus 1,200 before the round started yesterday, just so you know. 12 to 1.
Here we go. Rick and Jupiter on the Titan Mark text signing wants to know my thoughts on the league reports that the Gators may be bringing back the old school white uniforms this season. Do you have a favorite Florida throwback uniform? Also, what do you make of Ohio State adding a sponsorship patch to its jerseys while many programs have been slow to go that route? First of all, I saw that on Twitter. I don't know if it's true or not. I love the throwback uniforms for once a game. One game a year, I should say. And my favorite Gator uniform is anytime we wear all white. I do not like
Yeah.
colored pants, so all
Yeah.
white's my favorite.
Yeah,
Speaking
we agree
of
there.
these sponsorships, JC, I took a screenshot of this. It was on Twitter. Again, you can't believe everything on Twitter. There's 24 teams that have gone to the patches, and I think the Big 12 has a sponsorship patch with Monster Energy. I think all the teams wear that. But I'm going to go through these couple of them real quick. Obviously, Notre Dame has SoFi, Ohio State Chase, Arkansas has Tyson Foods. Both Army and Air Force have a USAA Bank. FedEx at Memphis. LSU has Woodside Energy. I got another spam call. Imagine that. USF has Tampa General Hospital patches. Vanderbilt has SRM Concrete. There's Culver's with Wisconsin. Tall Grass for Wyoming. I don't know what that is. There's a lot of them here. I don't know what they are. But
We're just catching up with the rest of the sports world, QB. That's just the way it is.
no, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
I think we need to find us a patch to put on there.
Yeah. Somebody sign up and write a big 7-figure, 8-figure check. QB, by the way, Signetti's not the only clown running his yap because he's happened to win lately. Brett Bielema has really done well at Illinois, okay? So he's done okay at Illinois. Let me tell you how he did in the SEC.
Wasn't very good.
After 2005 with the University of Arkansas. How about in 2013, 3-9? 2014, 7-6, 2015, 8-5, 2016, 7-6, 2017, 4-8, for a grand total record of 29-34 at Arkansas. But at Illinois, yes, sir, he's got them playing solid football and winning games. But for some reason, I guess the football players in Arkansas just aren't as good as they are at Illinois. So, yeah, Brett Bielema, that's another one that ran his fat ass talking about the SEC and the Big 10. Big 18. I just really kind of wish, in a way, we did play more of those teams during the regular season. I wish they had the Floridas and the LSUs and the Mississippis and I'll even say the Auburns on the schedule. I just would love to see more of that kind of football during the year. Because again, Ohio State fans think for the last 25 years they had the best football program, but by results, that is factually not true. So I remember the days when South Carolina ran Ohio State out of the building in some of these bowl games in the early 2000s. Look it up. It's there. It happened. It really did. You can't change that.
JC, they really struck a nerve with you, haven't they?
And then Ohio State wants to talk shit because they thought in 2014 when Lane Kiffin forgot to give Derrick Henry the football that they were hot stuff. And the last time they played Alabama was 2020, and they still haven't found a way to stop Devontae Smith. And Mac Jones is still throwing the football over their asses. And Alabama could have scored 100 if he wanted to. Sarkisian was doing things that Ohio State had never seen in their life. In their life, he hadn't seen that. Sark was dialing up plays that nobody on the Ohio State staff has even seen in their life as a football coach. And Alabama's just having fun with them, playing with their food, as they say. So, okay, Big Ten. Indiana rolled us. Yes, they did. They beat everybody's tail in last year. They sure did. You had 1 year in 150. So let's see you do it again. And then maybe I'll start talking a little bit more complimentary, because the fan base is just unbelievable. But I guess this is what happens in college football. You get a fan and he thinks he's hot stuff, and off you go. That's the way it works. It's time for football, bro. It's August 3rd.
Injuries occur whenever and however, and it's never convenient for sprains, strains, or minor fractures. UF Health Orthocare makes it convenient for you 7 days a week, including evenings. Swing on by if you're banged up. See the folks at UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. AU Gator on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, says, wonder what my thoughts are on having media days for high school sports. I think it's great. The company I work for, Baker Sporting Goods out of Jacksonville, does it in connection with the Jaguars at the stadium, at the facility there. The kids get to go into the facility. They get to get interviewed on TV. They do all kinds of stuff. So it's a good experience for them, for sure.
Absolutely.
Andy says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. Wow, I didn't know this. And local golf news last week, Steve Russell had a hole-in-one at Turkey Creek.
Okay.
Good for Steve Russell.
Oh, Russ. Still don't have one.
That has to be Steve's first.
You think so?
I would put money on it. He doesn't play a whole lot of golf. Well, he does now that he's retired. But who knows? Okay, so I'm laughing. JC is very upset at the Big 18.
The Big 18 is just bothering me this morning. Maybe it's the rain. Maybe it feels like I'm at a Big 18 campus right now with all this lousy weather. That's probably what it is. I do like Traverse City, Michigan, however. Here's 31 M. Burr. People can't afford groceries. Hopefully Congress can sort out college athletics eligibility issues. Yeah, well, they will probably get to it, but I don't think they'll get to it before the end of the year, but I hope I'm wrong. And then, of course, Michael Schneider, the great Michael Schneider, 8656. It will end when the schools run out of money. So what's going to cause people to run out of money and continue supporting this is called a good old-fashioned economic recession, because then people change their spending habits and their discretionary spending goes a little bit south. So that's kind of when things will slow down, but everything slows down. So we don't want that, right? We don't want that, QB. You don't want a recession. So, but prices do come down in recession. They do, but so do incomes and so do wages. But no, 31 Ember, you know what? 31 Ember, Signetti isn't concerned with my opinion on him, or on the Big 18. But that's what we do here in the morning, 31 Ember. So haul ass if you don't like it. Just take off, bro. Get out of here. I'm tired of this guy. This guy's got such a problem, an ant up his ass about me. But he can leave. He can be happy to just hit the exit door, bro. Get out of here. Ember, just take off. But if you don't like it, then just wait until I'm off here at 8:30, and you and Shane can have a great time till 9 o'clock. Have a great time, bro. Go ahead.
We're on 71 on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. He says, QB, if they gave you another year of eligibility, do you think you can make the golf team? Hell no. I'd have a better chance of making the basketball and baseball team than I would golf.
Oh, these guys are superstars. I mean, the way they hit the ball is unrecognizable, QB.
Yeah, it's a different level. I would say when the closest players on campus to the professional comparison would be the golfers. I don't know if that made any sense.
Well, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I don't know how to explain it.
Well, listen, the talent level is just different now. And and I know that what they're playing with, the clubs and the balls and everything, but I just never seen strength on the tee box and just real skill with putting the ball where it has to be put, like I'm seeing in today's golfer. And that includes the PGA Tour. I mean, these guys winning tournaments today, I think you're 1,000% right when you say from top to bottom, from bottom to top, and everything in the middle cannot be compared to from days gone by. It just can't. They were great players back then too, but there just seems to be more skill and more talent, and it's really helping the product because we're getting so many new names winning so many different tournaments, right?
Yep,
I mean, we just had a first-time winner this time. We had a first-time winner at the British Open. Now, he is 39, Ryan Fox, but he's won before on the Canadian, and that's all he's won. So, I mean, it's incredible. You get hot on a Sunday, and you can do some great things and secure your tour card if you're in shooting, if you're in closing distance. So.
Greg wants to know how many holes in one you have and I have. I have 2.
I got a donut, and I've come close on the same hole in the same week twice within an inch and a half, and neither time.
There's a lot of guys playing on the PGA Tour and have played on the tour for 20-something years, have never had a hole in one. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's basically luck.
Yeah.
JC, you want to talk about the Big 18?
Well, I mean, I
want to ask
you
this question.
Yeah.
What is going on in Major League Baseball?
Well, we have the trade deadline today. This is a big day, actually. But I know what you're saying. Okay, why are the Dodgers basically mortgaging their entire team to get these players? You know how many guys they have on deferred payments in the tens of millions of dollars right now on their roster? And here they get Tarek Skubal. Baseball, I think, has got to figure out a way to perhaps, and here I am as a Yankee fan saying this, so it sounds hypocritical, but maybe we need to talk salary cap. Maybe we do.
I don't understand why they don't have one.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They have a union, a players union, just like the other ones. But for some reason, that players union, look, we're going to have a lockout next year. It's virtually guaranteed. But the players union has seemingly a little bit more pull with the ownership group of Major League Baseball than in the other sports. And it's hard to understand why. Maybe there is a better reason. I can't think of one right now. But I will tell you that it's ridiculous that the Dodgers would be able to sign a guy like Tarek Skubal from the Tigers at the trade deadline. You know, Tigers are 4 games out of a wild card. Why are they quitting? Why are they giving up? Well, they're doing it because they don't think even if they did make the playoffs, it would really be anything. But hey, the Houston Astros are just the opposite of that. Houston Astros just swept the Texas Rangers, and they're trying to win their division. So, QB, you're right. There needs to be some sort of I mean, it's just it's crazy. I saw a tweet on X about how the Dodgers luxury tax, just what they pay to exist, is more money than like 12 teams' entire payroll. We're just talking about a luxury tax, and that it's more money than most people's payrolls. So I'm going to pull that up because I think that's a very good point you brought up. Here it is. The Dodgers for having a new luxury tax of $180 million. That's just a tax out the door. Of course, it's in California, and they've never seen a tax they don't love in California. But Cincinnati, of course, that has nothing to do with the state, but Cincinnati, Milwaukee, Sacramento, Colorado, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Washington, Chicago White Sox, St. Louis, Tampa Bay, Cleveland, and Miami, their entire payrolls are not as big as the LA Dodgers luxury tax. What is going on with baseball, dude? Why?
Yeah, it makes no sense to me.
So let's pray for a Tampa Bay,
Milwaukee,
and Milwaukee World Series. Boom.
Brewers
Take that, owners. Take that, owners. Milwaukee really blew it not getting Skubal, but I don't know how you compete with something like the Dodgers. And the thing about the Dodgers is that they're not even paying them right now. Shohei Ohtani is going to be owed hundreds of millions of dollars down the road is when they have to pay him that. He took the salary of $2 million just to show up, and he didn't care. He's got so much money coming from Japan, right? So, so anyway, hey, you're right. Baseball is crazy that way. But I will say, if you care about what's happening on the field, the trade deadlines today, the Astros have made a move on the Rangers in that American League division, Central, and they were dead to the world. And how about the Boston freaking Red Sox? My mortal enemy, the Boston Red Sox. They go into Dodger Town, they go and play the Dodgers, and they sweep the Dodgers. Last night, 8-4, the Red Sox. 2 nights before, the Red Sox win. The Boston stinking Red Sox, 21 wins and 4 losses in the entire month of July. They were 80-1. 80-1 to have the best record in the month of July. 80-1. And that came in and cashed. And they went 21-4, and they have taken their road show to Sacramento and Los Angeles and kicked everybody's tail. And that's the hottest team going right now. And you got Wilson Contreras and a bunch of guys I don't know. That's who you got.
Who plays in Sacramento?
That would be your Athletics.
They do? I didn't even know that. I thought they were in Vegas.
Well, they have to build a stadium. They are going to move to Vegas, but they're putting together a pretty nifty 35-seat stadium in Las Vegas, right down there on I think the north side of the Strip. So that's going to be great for that organization, but it's 2 years running still. All these new stadiums coming up, these owners are spending money, and
Yes, they are.
And so we have that, and Jacksonville is getting theirs, baby. The cranes are out.
Gallo Car Wash is locally owned by UFLoma, the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Locations are Northwest 13th Street, Wilson Road, now open in Jonesville next to Tioga. All right, JC, before we get you out of here.
Scott, I love you too, 0020, Scott. Don't know you, but I love you, brother. Thank you for the nice words.
Let me find this text, if I can find it on my phone.
Justin Cord, appreciate you, bro. Yeah, 31 Ember, he's in the shit list. And then we got Barone, my guy. Michael Schneider, 8656, sweet guy. Nat Blaylock, love him. Love everybody except that 31 Ember. I could do without him, QB.
Gator Josh and Wamama. It's okay, JC. Not everybody likes me either, but I don't worry about it. Gentlemen, it's that time. Fall camp begins. Besides QB and O-line, what other position groups are you wanting to see clear starters and
I
burn?
was choked. God,
Um,
that was funny.
I don't even know what I said. Uh, I think it's important. That's a great question, Josh. I think our secondary is questionable as well.
I love
What?
him. I'm sorry, did I interrupt you? I didn't mean to.
I don't even remember what I said.
He calls me a degenerate gambling boomer. What a slob, that guy. What an absolute slob. Absolute slob.
You like to have fun, JC. That's why you're here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, GLP-1 and Red Bull chasers, definitive. Now, see, that's funny. That's funny. Now, it's a little sip of 5-hour energy to kind of wake up because I hate coffee. I don't drink coffee, never really liked it. And then you got to go with a little creatine before you head to the gym in the morning, 4 days a week. Been doing it for a year now, changed everything. And I feel a lot better. 35 pounds and muscle mass is up. Feeling good, QB. I guess you're going to be stuck with me for longer than, you know.
You feel great, huh, JC?
I was 215 pounds and my left knee hurt like hell. And I've lost 35 pounds and I feel like I'm in college. And my knee, I can't even feel the pain in my meniscus. It is torn. I was going to have an operation. It showed on the x-ray. I feel no pain. And Dr. Altbush said, well, we don't need to do surgery, dude. You're not symptomatic. So.
Okay, before we get you out here, last text from
All right.
on the Titan Mar text line. Did y'all see what they're doing to Sophie Cunningham in the WNBA?
I can't hate
every
the
day.
WNBA every day.
I'm going to say it again. I say it. I say I'm not going to talk about it. But you have a screw loose. Regardless of what you believe in, you have a screw loose. If you think it is okay for men to play in women's sports, it is simple as that. You are messed up in the head.
It's not just a screw. It's the whole basement. I mean, everything.
God bless Sophie Cunningham.
Yes, God bless her. She stands up for what is right and decent. And same with Riley Gaines. You know, Riley Gaines is the leader of this charge back.
I may get me one of those T-shirts they wear.
Yeah. Listen, Caitlin Clark is probably so scared to say or do anything because they basically have a target on her head in that league, including her own team, his coaches, and the coaches. I cannot dislike or loathe the WNBA any more than I do right now because of the people that are involved in running that. You know, I think there's a lot of mental disorder up there. And I think
it's great that she doesn't put up with anything. She says what's on her mind.
No, Sophie's not scared. Sophie's not scared, and they can't cancel her. They can't do it because she's got too much support. But again, I'm trying not to pay attention to that crowd.
Well, I don't pay attention to it, but it's and I don't know how these algorithms work or whatever.
It's gotten political.
It's all over my Twitter feed.
It's gotten political. So it's ridiculous. I don't know how to get rid of all those. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know why it's political, JC. You have a lot of friends and family that don't believe what you believe when it comes to politics, but do they believe that men should be in women's sports?
I don't believe they do. We try not to talk about those things when we get together, just to keep the sanity. And it works out just fine.
Yeah.
You know, I love my brother, mother, land.
Right, but I don't know how this has to be political. It's common freaking sense.
It is, but when you get the coach, when you get a freaking coach of your team,
she has no common sense.
Well, she either does or she's playing a game with people's minds, and that's even worse because that's called enabling. And when you enable a mental disorder, then you are just as bad as somebody who has it. And I don't mean bad in a bad way, but you are just as well. Maybe
the best thing that can happen for that league is some dude come rolling there that's 6'9", that is built like LeBron and just starts taking chicks out.
Cleaning house. Yeah. There's your solution right there. But then we hate that guy. So
I wouldn't care.
I wouldn't.
I want them to go prove a point how stupid they are. Okay.
And it's dangerous too. It's dangerous.
people liking me or whatever, JC, does not get me fired up, but common sense, things
I
like
don't know.
that
I don't know why this
fire
guy's
me
got
up.
such a
My
pain.
blood starts boiling.
I guess what he did was he probably watched Win with JC. He lost a couple of bets, and now he's a hateful slob. But I guess I'm going to let him go, and I'm not going to let the Big 18 go. Oh, I
Well,
already let him
we
go.
got to let you go because we got to
But
get
you're going to let
Kevin
me
Brockway.
go now. Go get who you
Yep.
got coming
All
on.
right, JC, I hope you have a better day. That's JC
Who you got?
Johnson
Who you
on the
got
Titan
coming
More
on?
Hotline. We're going to
Kevin.
take a quick timeout,
Oh,
and we got
okay.
to get to Kevin Brockway. You're
Okay.
watching
Good old Kevin.
PodUp
Go
Matthews
Canes.
Warner from the
The
International
U.
Diamond Center
The U.
Studios.
He's the
We'll be
U
right
guy.
back.
He's my.
Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics, Michael Schneider PLLC, Florida Legends Gala and Experience, Money Metals, Sensei Asian Bistro. Our gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Florida Cracker Oyster, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, International Gold and Diamond, Advocare, and MGA&A Wealth. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook or YouTube. Listen to podcasts wherever, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, be sure to call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football.
Let's go. We are the owners of Tropical Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand.
We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers,
And go Gators.
The late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust. He turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
Gainesville's best-kept secret is finally being revealed. Introducing Sensei Asian Bistro. Located in Celebration Point next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Sensei delivers a one-of-a-kind Japanese-French fusion experience that's as refined as it is unforgettable. Indulge in signature dishes like our smoked New York strip, Chilean sea bass, matcha curry, or the crave-worthy chunggang chili chicken. Pair it all with handcrafted cocktails, fresh crudo oysters, or our premium A5 Wagyu tataki. Sensei Asian Bistro. Make your reservation today.
Ever dreamed of catching a touchdown pass from Tim Tebow or Danny Warfel? Or taking a handoff from the legendary Steve Spurrier? Then you need to join the Florida Legends Experience on Sunday, August 23rd. You'll receive a personal video of your touchdown and your football signed by the Gator Heisman winner. Enjoy an unforgettable day of Gator greatness while supporting the incredible mission of the Isaiah 117 House. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at fllegends.com. That's fllegends.com. Don't miss your chance to be part of Gator history.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Real estate attorney Michael Schneider, a UF class of 93 graduate, can help you save thousands of dollars in real estate commissions by assisting you in selling your home or land by owner without a broker. Contact Michael today at 321-345-7870. Back to the Titan More Hotline. We're joined by the Gainesville Sun's Kevin Brockway. Good morning, Kevin. How you doing, bud?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Before we jump into football a little bit, let's talk a little basketball. Denzel Aberdeen is back. The class of 2022 can come back and play. Explain what the hell's going on. And here's an issue. I want to say, and again, I should know this and I don't. I know you know it. Basically, let's just say Florida's roster is it's set. I think you only can have, 15 players on your team now? no walk-ons.
Yes. Right now they
And
have 15 players and they're all scholarship players. Yes.
right. And so let's use Xavier Lee, for example. He went to the NBA, G League, or whatever. Now he's back in the portal. Most teams have their roster set at this time. Now you're going to have to cut a player, it looks like, if you want to pick somebody up. Is that correct?
Yeah, that would be the case. I mean, someone would have to be run off or told that, but who knows if some rosters might have been manipulated where they had walk-ons in place in case this happened. And some people have saved spots, which Florida did for Aberdeen, and for good reason, because, I mean, he's a potential impact guy in the backcourt, obviously, based on what he did last year at Kentucky. So, I think what the judgment in Colorado over the weekend did was it opened up a huge Pandora's box, because not only did it basically eliminate the 5-for-5 structure, but now you've got R.J. Lewis, who's 25 years old, who's now eligible to come to LSU. Xavier Lee and Micah Hanlogden, who played in NBA Summer League, not G League, but in the Summer League, and signed Exhibit 10 contracts. They can come back if they want to, who wants them. And I think Charlie Baker's stance on this is, hey, look, we're taking away opportunities for 18-year-olds for this, and they're going to appeal. So I don't know if it's necessarily a done deal yet, but I think it's looking pretty good, because, all Aberdeen could do at this point is, file a temporary injunction, and then that would take you through the season anyway. So I think he's in good shape to be on the roster, and it should be quite a loaded roster for sure.
Now, this is for every sport, not just basketball, correct?
Yeah, it seems to impact basketball more because of, just the way the sport is structured with the eligibility, and with, I think, the desire and the proven concept, right? I mean, the one and dones kind of went out the window in 2015, and, the whole object of college basketball now, I remember, Dusty May telling me this back in the day, is getting old and staying old. Because I think the proof and concept now is that you win with the more mature players, and you win with the players that come in from the transfer portal and have proven track records. And that's what it takes to win. So this is why we are where we are. And this is why those like fifth year and beyond are in such demand right now. Last year, I think Nigel Pack was playing a 6-year. And, you're playing in all these different teams. And I just wish that there would have been a way. I think if the NCAA had just grandfathered in this 2022 class, I think that would have been fine. And it would, but now you have these court cases now, because they feel like they were treated unfairly, this 2022 class. And now it opens up a whole box for all these 6th and 7th year guys too. It's turned into a big mess. And Charlie Baker should have probably given those 2022 kids the year earlier, and not created this mess.
All right, so the Gators have their basketball roster set. I've got a lot of people chiming in here on all the different platforms. Do they have any interest in Xavier Lee or Micah coming back to the team? I don't think they do. Am I wrong there?
No. And they don't have the space for him, so I don't think they would bring him back. What would they do? Would they dump the 2 European guys? They're very high on the 2 European guys. Especially Petrovic. I think Petrovic is a guy that's going to contribute this year. So, who do you get rid of? I don't know, Victor Micic, maybe Kovacev, possibly. But and the other thing too is, what are you going to tell Xavier Lee, who was a starter last year? You're coming off the bench for Aberdeen. Like, how is that going to work?
Right.
I think they will both find other opportunities. I think, Micah being from North Carolina, there are probably some North Carolina schools that might be interested in him. And, maybe Xavier will find another spot either in the ACC or the SEC or Power 4. I mean, he proved that he could produce a little bit at that level after some kind of rocky early stretches. So I think that they'll both be somewhere else.
So Barone71 on YouTube, brought to you by Claude Plumman, says, does this mean Diego Pavia can go back and play college football again? Is he eligible? Because I know he signed a contract. He went to camp for about a cup of coffee. They cut him. Could he come back?
No.
How does that work?
I would think possibly, because of that, because of this judgment again. But, Shane, the NCAA is going to appeal this. It's just going to be a big mess. So I don't want to say if something is definite at this point, but yeah, you could have guys that decide to try to come back, whether they will or not. It's just amazing. This is the unintended consequence for NIL, right? Is that it's college sports has now become a career option, and that's where we are because these people, they realize that the money is there, the exposure is there, they want to get paid, and it gives them another opportunity, maybe to show themselves in a different light to pro teams getting another season of play. So it's just it's one big mess right now.
Yeah, and these guys are going to do everything they can to come back and play college because A, they're going to have some success there. B, they're getting paid a lot of money, and it's just so hard to become a professional in whatever sport it is. There's only that 1% that makes it. Kevin, when you look at this basketball roster before we move to football,
okay,
how does it compare to some of the great college basketball rosters the Gators have had?
It's interesting because I did, I went down a rabbit hole a little bit with some fans about, this team, is this the best roster ever in Florida basketball history, and comparing it to the 06-07. And I parsed it a little bit, and I would say this. I would say first, let's see if this team wins a championship, first and foremost. And secondly, Noah Horford and Brewer were all lottery picks. Hauk will probably be a lottery pick, right? Chinua and Condon, I mean, that remains to be seen if they finish this year and they wind up as lottery picks. Now, Denzel Aberdeen might be a fourth first-round draft pick if he has a good year, and that would be something that would be comparable. But I would just say, Lee Humphrey was the greatest three-point shooter in NCAA tournament history. People forget that. Torian was a pretty steady point guard. You had two NBA guys coming off the bench, and Chris Richard and Maurice Spates on that team. Dan Werner was had a pretty solid career at Florida. So, and he was coming off the bench as a freshman. So let's just see. I would say that there's a little bit of recency bias there, saying, hey, this is going to be the greatest team ever in Florida history. And first of all, they have to prove it on the court, I think.
Okay. One last thing about this court ruling, and again, there's a lot still out there. If guys are in like single A, double A baseball, they're under a contract. So are they allowed to come back or no?
I would think not in that situation, because I would think that by then they had, been deemed professionals in terms of like the amount they played. But again, I would have to further research it to see if people are going to try to do that. It's just, the whole thing is right now just kind of nuts. Who knows? Maybe the Gators will have John Summerall will find an influx of training camp guys that he'll bring back.
Yeah. Castaway Hot Sauce.
You can get Jake Slaughter for another year of eligibility at center or something. Yeah.
Right. Castaway Hot Sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar, built by Gators for Gators. Castaway Hot Sauce available at select Publix. All right, Kevin, let's move to football. They crank up Wednesday. I think tomorrow is media day or something along those lines.
Yes.
We've talked all summer long. It's finally here. Just your thoughts on this team heading into training camp.
Well, I think some position battles will be intriguing, with quarterback being number one, obviously Aaron Philo and Tramel Jones, and seeing what they do and seeing how they build off the spring game. Now, John has said that he kind of let them know where they stood in the spring. I mean, he didn't share that with us per se. You hear rumblings that even though Aaron, maybe didn't show it in the spring game, that he might be a little bit ahead just based on his knowledge of Buster's system. Left tackle is interesting to me too. Kind of two, transfers that are kind of no names, and Emeka Gorgie and Egan Boyer, who is, with Phil Troutwine at Penn State. And then, can Fletcher Westfall get healthy too and get in the mix there? I would be curious about that. And just the whole offensive line in general, how that's going to come together. And, obviously, John Summerall talked about different position groupings that they're going to try to work there. And that's something that we'll get to see a little bit, during our viewing periods in fall camp. So the thing, the other thing you hear too about this team is they're not 100% comfortable with the corners. I think they're going to want to see, Dijon is still coming off the MCL. Ben Hanks did have a good spring, and Cormani is a guy with a lot of talent. But, can he play consistently? Can he pick things up consistently? So I think those are some of the areas that I would look at, going into this fall and seeing how that all shakes out.
Are your the media guys, are y'all getting more time to watch practice than what you've had in the past under Coach Summerall?
We did in the spring. We're hearing in the fall that it's going to kind of go back to where it was, last year. I think a little bit more of the urgency. And listen, I do think that, it's all over the SEC, right? Any kind of video that you put out there nowadays in this age, it gets parsed by coaches from other, it's out on the World Wide Web, right? It's out on social media. So I think that, John is maybe tightening up a little bit, because it's getting closer to the season. He's concerned about the season, and that's his right. And we'll do the best with what we have in terms of, providing, fans, kind of that, insight and video and information. But, we'll get to speak to players and coaches pretty regularly. We'll get to speak to coordinators pretty regularly. During fall camp and during the season, which will be a plus, which will be a little bit different from Billy. So that will be a nice change and a welcome change. And hopefully we'll give a little more insight to the fans as well.
Michael, one of our great sponsors and listeners on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, wants to know, when the ACC breaks up, will Miami end up in the SEC or the Big 18?
Yeah, why not? Probably. I would think the Big 18 maybe, but we'll see how that shakes out. It would be interesting because I would think like the Big Ten Network would want a Florida market, right? And why not Miami when it's good? It draws eyeballs. When it's not good, it doesn't draw eyeballs. But you can ride the good years down there. So I would think that would be a possible fit. And but the SEC would be nice too. I mean, it would be fun, right, to have that yearly rivalry with Florida again. That would be interesting. But I think for the Hurricanes, this year in the ACC, if they have no excuses this year. If they don't win the ACC this year, and listen, they're going to have over 100 yards of penalties per game in that league because that's just the way the games are called. But this year they should have enough talent to compensate and overcome that.
Andy's question for you on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. Among the other two teams that you follow closely, who has the better season, Miami or Indiana?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'll still stay, because both teams had some significant losses to the draft, and that cannot be discounted. But I think Mensa over Hoover, I would give the edge to Miami slightly. But I think they'll both be in the mix, top 10 teams for most of the season, and they'll be there. They'll be there in December, I think, barring anything shocking or unforeseen, or if Darian Mensa gets hurt, or, I think it's going to be, Malachi Toney is on the come, as you know, he kind of showed that last year. Miami still lost a lot on the offensive line, but they do have the freshman coming in, the number one recruit from Missouri. His name escapes me, and he might be a guy that starts on the offensive line right away as a freshman. So we'll see how that goes.
James from Marietta on the Titan Mark text line says, Kevin, we're 2 days away from camp. What does your gut tell you the Gator record will be this year, and who will be the starting quarterback?
I think Philo will start. I think 8-5, if you include the bowl game, would be a nice season. It would be progress, and I think that's what you want. I mean, I don't see him beating Texas and Texas. I don't see him beating Georgia and Atlanta. That Ole Miss Auburn stretch, if they can win one of those two, right, that wouldn't be bad. And, maybe if they're beat up, maybe they lose to Oklahoma in the swamp. But those are the four that I see that are going to be the real landmines in the schedule. And then, they have to prove, that they can win the games that you're supposed to win. And there's always that hangover effect when they lose to Georgia, as you know. I mean, last year you saw it at Kentucky. When you have that game, it's such an emotional letdown. So, let's see what they do in November and how they carry it through. But if they can finish the season strong after that Texas-Georgia stretch and, kind of similar to what they did in 2024 under Billy a little bit, if they can do that, that would create some good vibes and good feelings going into the following season.
Yeah, I think between the Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Texas, Georgia, those 4 games, to have a good winning, feel-good year, we got to go 2-2. Worst case scenario.
I agree. Yeah. And the Auburn and the Oklahoma are far more winnable than at Texas and at Georgia.
Yeah, I say on paper, I don't like
Yeah.
our chances in Atlanta or Austin.
Yeah.
But
I think that's
anything
going
can
to be a
happen
tough one. Yeah.
while you play the game. But
I mean, anything can happen, injuries, or if a team is not playing well and consistently. I do think Will Muschamp is going to do a lot for that defense in Texas. He's a great defensive coach. And, Texas has always been, people talk about, someone else talked about maybe Florida being soft when he took over. I mean, what did it say about Texas? That Florida pushed Texas around in the swamp last year.
Yep.
And I think Muschamp is going to add a little layer of toughness that they're lacking in their program as well.
I agree with that 100%. Kevin, great stuff as always. Let everybody know they can follow you, and you got any good stuff they can go read?
Yeah, Gainesville.com, Gatorsports.com. We're just finishing up our position previews. I did the linebackers today. Obviously, the opening of camp. We'll have practice reports, video for all the practices that we have access to coming up. So be sure to follow our camp coverage at Gainesville.com, Gatorsports.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at Kevin Brockway G1. And Andrew Abady will be helping out as well, and Noah Ram. So our whole staff will be chipping in as we get closer to the first game under John Summerall. Very exciting stuff.
Appreciate your time, Kevin. We'll talk to you soon, my man.
All right, thank you.
Kevin Brockway from the Gainesville Sun joins us on the Titan More Hotline. Gold and silver investors, find out what makes Gator-owned money metals different from other coin companies that often resort to high-pressure sales tactics, not at Money Metals. For more information, visit moneymetals.com or give them a call at 1-800-800-1865. Thanks to Kevin and JC. Thanks to you folks. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Take care.